Here now is Lisa Bell and Candace Campos with Florida Foodie. Sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Hello and welcome back to Florida Foodie. I'm Candace Campos, and today is a family affair. We've got brothers Edward and George Yao, who opened up this great concept, kind of pairing it up with friends that they met back in UCF, which when we were calculating it, they thought it was 10 years, and then we realized it's more like 15 years that they've been together. So let's welcome again Edward and George Yao. Hi, guys.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
The smell is so good. I feel like I floated in down the hallway when you guys were making this. This looks like a work of art. So kind of give us like a concept of what people can expect when they go to Yao's.
No, of course. So this is like a culmination of like our experiences growing up in Central Florida, being Chinese American, so all of our family recipes, like our dumplings, our fried rice, and then also integration of like Central Florida's, big Spanish influence. So these dishes are a marriage of both of them, so our honey orange chicken to our sticky Shanghai sticky ribs, they're all delicious. So.
And you guys, and you're still a baby, or it's kind of in that soft opening. When this airs, you'll probably be out, open full throttle, but
sure. We're still not soft.
Yeah. So how's the process been? Starting a business, getting it going. This is in Oviedo, right?
That is correct. Right.
Okay.
It's been exhilarating. Of course, like any business, there's its own obstacles. However, Oviedo has been so welcoming. We've been received with open arms, and they can feel the authenticity that we bring.
Yeah. So where in Oviedo is this located for people who are the hardcore Ovidioans?
So we're probably a block away from downtown Oviedo, right next to Arcade Monsters in that plaza where the new Publix just went in. So yeah, we're right there. We're in the heart of Oviedo for sure.
And I really do feel like Oviedo is just like a place where you don't want to go outside your bubble. Everyone likes to live within their bubbles, right? So this is a great zone because there's not a lot of options like this there, which is, you kind of like hit the nail on the head really when you found your location. Is there a reason why you wanted Oviedo, or is it just something that kind of called to you guys?
So Oviedo is a thriving community, one that we felt lacked a lot of staple family-owned restaurants. There's a lot of corporate restaurants out there. But with that, becomes kind of the monotony of it. So we're bringing something more refreshing.
That's awesome. And it's certainly family. So tell me, who's involved in the restaurant business? So you guys are brothers.
Yeah.
Who is the oldest?
I am.
All right.
I am the oldest.
Of all the siblings?
All the siblings.
Okay, we got sister back there.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be on camera. We wouldn't talk about her.
So yeah, definitely a family affair. Back of the house, kitchen chef, and then my brother's a general manager, managing the bar as well too. My sister's everywhere, all at the same time, with our significant others as well too. So this really is a family operation. It's a lot of work, but we love what we do. So.
And from when we were talking before taping this is kind of in your blood. You've had, and you even highlighted it in your Instagram as well.
Oh,
your grandparents. So kind of give us like a little background on how it's been running in your blood for decades.
Allow me.
Yeah.
Well, my grandfather came over here circa 70s, settled in Jamestown, New York, opened a few concepts up there. Eventually, around the time I was born in the 90s, they moved down here to Florida. Since then, my mother opened up a few concepts. They had retired from the restaurant community, restaurant industry, and then we picked up the mantle.
Yeah. And what did your parents think when you, because sometimes parents are like, we already did this, you go do something different, or how was the process of announcing that you guys were going to start something?
Well, I mean, they probably thought we were a little insane. Let's just be honest. They know how hard this restaurant industry is. So, my mother was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" My father was probably, I don't say against it. He was just concerned, But once we're, fully operational right now, we're in it. I think they're super proud of us. I know they are. Yeah, that's for sure.
And mom also helps. You were saying she's in the back making some of these.
Making the dumplings, folding the wontons, keeping us, alive. So she's definitely in the background too.
So your wontons and dumplings are handmade.
Yeah.
No.
Our fillings are made in-house as well too. Our skins, we fold everything daily, so they're always fresh.
So how many of these do you go through a day? Or how many could you go through a day?
I mean, we try to stay ahead.
Yeah.
But we probably pump out a couple hundred a day.
Oof.
Yeah.
And how many different flavors of of dumplings and things like that do you guys have? Because you have the wontons you're saying.
Correct.
Right.
So our wontons are pork and bok choy. And then we just recently changed our filling for our dumplings, which is pork and chives. So they will change throughout with the seasons with Florida seasons.
Yeah. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
But yeah, you know, just to keep the menu a little lively, a little different. So this way our guest is always experiencing something a little different within our restaurant.
And you have partners who've come and sat down and shared a meal with us before with Vietnam. So how did you guys get in the all together with Vietnams? How did that all start?
I guess we were just hanging out. Chris Chen, Phil, and we were just hanging out.
At UCF?
I don't recall exactly where, but we were mentioning on a concept my brother and I were thinking of, and my sister as well. Couple of years flew by, and then it really got serious. You know, they became more interested, and we really wanted to hone in and chase our dreams.
Yeah. How is it working with them? Have they been able to help you kind of, because they've now opened a couple locations now with Vietnams. Like, how is that having them in, on your team as well?
Oh, it's been amazing. They've been super helpful. I mean, just knowing the knowledge about getting the place, to where we are now. Right. It was very important. It was pivotal for sure. I think without them, we couldn't be this far in, I would say.
And this is not fast casual. This is sit down, spend time with family, right? So you're saying it's a little bigger than tapas, but kind of give us a feel. So this is not just a one meal. Everyone gets their own meal, and you're SOL if you got something else. So how's the process like when you go into?
When we were growing up, dinner was often multiple dishes in the middle. Everyone's kind of picking and choosing and sharing. Yeah. And that's kind of what we wanted to bring. A lot of our plates are meant to be shared. Of course, we have some more individualized plates. But that brings the whole family dynamic back into it. Yeah.
Right. All right. So what's your favorite? If you had to sit down and have your one dish, I can't say your one meal because it does differ. What is it?
I would say our dumplings. Okay. Our dumplings are for sure. I mean, we've been making them forever, which we love. Ever since we were young, next to our mother, our grandparents were always folding dumplings. So this is probably more sentimental as well too. So
nostalgic.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
Yeah. Between the dumplings, Pepe's wontons, Pepe is our mother. And
we love it, Pepe.
That's the recipe we grew up on. So it like my brother said, is very nostalgic. It reminds me of childhood.
Yeah. And so you're saying it's a kind of seasonal. So are you trying to grab things from Central Florida or?
Oh, definitely. I think our seasonal stuff, for example, like the corn, when Zellwood corn, triple corn is in season, we
love Zellwood corn.
That's it. We know how sweet they are. So that's kind of like the concept within our recipes and our ingredients. We want to source locally as well too, whatever we can. For sure.
So what's the reason for not doing fast casual and wanting to, is it just that sit down, use that's that how you kind of wanted it?
Exactly what it is. Like going back from when we were growing up, it was always a communal dining experience, sharing stories, talking about our days, and the food was always the culmination of that surrounded that conversation. All
right, so can I dig in?
Of course.
Okay, so if I'm gonna pick one, which one would I pick first?
I would start with the ribs.
Yeah. Start with the ribs. Yeah. The messy one.
Yeah.
Good, Edward. Thanks. Appreciate it. Okay, so I have to ask a question, and then while I eat, you need to answer it. So you need to fill the time.
Okay?
I'm not eating with my mouth full because my mom says that I've been doing that on Florida. Poopy. So what's the process with the ribs as I grab one?
Definitely hands-on.
Okay.
Hands-on, take it from the top. We have our
crispy. What's the crispy stuff on top?
Garlic, fried shallots, and fried garlic on there. So just give it a little bit more
time. My breath's gonna smell real good.
Yeah, in the best way possible.
Yeah. And you were saying that you guys cook them and then you cool them. What's the process like?
Yeah, so we brine them for 24 hours, and then we remove them from the brine, and then we braise them for 2.5 hours in the oven. And then when we're cooling them, we actually cool them in the braising liquid. So this way all the juices goes back in. And then they're cut and then flash fried and then sauce on the line right before the guest.
So the sauce is right before?
Right before.
Correct. Oh my gosh, this is so good.
Good.
Love the crunch. I've never had spare ribs with a crunch like that.
Right. Great.
And they're juicy and soft.
That's the plan.
All right. So if you're going to be braising stuff at home, make sure to cool it in its braising juice. However, whatever chef said. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is good. All right, one more bite. What's the next one? What's the next one on the list?
I think the dumplings.
think so.
Yeah.
Now, the dumplings I'm nervous about
Why do you say that?
because it's a family tradition.
There you go.
That's fair.
There you go.
Well, hopefully we live up to that.
How do you guys wrap it that nothing comes out? Because I've tried wrapping before. It doesn't work. Is there a certain...
There's definitely a technique. And when you pick it up, you'll see the ridges as well too. So it's not just like an easy fold. So then you see it from the other side as well too. Yeah. So it definitely takes time. I would say,
Wow.
yeah.
These are big.
Yeah, we don't skimp on the filling.
Okay, what's this?
It's our dumpling sauce, a little soy, a little rice wine vinegar. Yeah. Should be a little sweet from the demi sauce. Sweet. The chives, the pork. Yes. We don't skimp on the filling.
No.
No.
That is... Oh, there's a lot in there.
But
Yeah.
listen,
But too often you find frozen dumplings in restaurants, and we want to pride ourselves on.
That doesn't taste like it.
good.
That's amazing. Oh, man. Okay. Can you guys eat one too? No, I'll be the only one eating.
No, definitely.
I'll use something.
Mm.
Definitely. Go ahead and eat
Yeah.
the dumpling for sure. I love using the hands. I guess we should have brought chopsticks too.
Well, fun story. I don't know how to use chopsticks. I know it's bad. It's bad. Sometimes I blame the kids that they don't know how to use them. So they create like a little kid-friendly one. And then I end up stealing it. So yeah.
Well, next time when you're in the Owls, we'll show you how to use it.
Okay. Deal. So what's next? What's next for y'all? I mean, I know you guys are like, let us open, but what's the process like? What are you guys hoping to see in the future?
Well, we are still in our soft opening. We're hoping to have our grand opening by the 10th of September.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're just hit the ground running.
So give us kind of an idea of what the concept is like when you walk in, because it's really cool. It looks really open and very, what's the way I can say it? That it's not just like little tables all spread around. There's like a real feel, like you walk in the door and it almost like drags you in, like, come on in. So like, what's kind of that concept if we're going to be airing some of that concept? Yeah.
We don't want you to feel like you're in Oviedo. So right when you walk in, to the right is our full bar. And then as you pan to the left, you'll see our expo, and that's where my brother is the show. He's right behind, right in front of the kitchen, preparing all the dishes.
Oh, no. We finish all of our dishes right in the front on the Chef's Expo. So this way the guests are able to interact with the chef as well too, seeing what we're doing. It's a full experience, you know. Yeah. This is exactly how it is in the kitchen where we're cooking when we were younger. We're in front of the food. Our parents are there. So it's kind of the same feel. That's what we wanted to bring with into the dining room.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you were saying it's a full bar.
Yes.
Ta-da! We got these pretty things. These are mocktails, by the way, if my boss is watching, because I had to do a show in a little bit. So what are so you do cocktails and things like that too. So what's kind of this?
So these are 3 of our 10 specialty cocktails. On the left, and again, mocktails as of now. Yes. On the left, we have the Kill Bill. Traditionally, we're going to be using a reposado in there. The one right in the middle is what we call Shanghai Noon. It is vodka-based, strawberry simple syrup.
Like Miss Conjure right there.
Yeah. And then finally on the right, we call it Enter the Dragon. It is a dragon fruit-based cocktail.
The pink.
Yes, with a Blanco tequila.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try this one, even though I know there's no, I don't know, but you know. Are you guys thinking about doing mocktails as well? Because I know that's a big thing nowadays.
No, we definitely will. I mean, with the mocktails, we'll have several options within the...
Fresh.
Yes. That's definitely the goal. Yeah, of course. You know, without our diners that don't drink alcohol, we'll definitely have some mocktails for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And some non-alcoholic beers as well too. So.
Yeah. And so what's this one over here? This one's been calling my name.
Honey orange chicken. So it's like a play on like a traditional like Chinese food takeout. You know.
Okay.
The sauce is done with fresh orange juice.
And then
fresh orange juice, rice syrup. Please do. And then we flash fry it. So it's a little bit different. They're not little chunks of chicken. Mm-hmm. We actually use whole chicken tenders, but we bread with the temple.
Well, that's the one thing when you guys were laying in the mat, I was like, are those chickens?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just a little bit different. And then we finish it with a freshly grated orange zest on top, and then just a little bit of green onions.
It's just so messy. But
no, it's the best way to eat it, with your hands, of course. Slightly sweet, a little savory.
That's the freshest orange chicken I've ever eaten.
That's exactly what we want so much. No, that's it.
That's like Florida orange chicken.
Well, we try to, like we said, locally source all our ingredients. The little touch of orange is the zest, and that's what chef does right before serving.
Yeah. Holy moly, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, that's my jam. I want to order that.
Okay.
You guys also do desserts?
We do. So we have 2 offerings right now. So we make all of our desserts in-house as well. So we have a Hong Kong milk tea tiramisu that we make fresh. So we do a play on like milk tea. So like traditionally in Hong Kong, they serve it hot, and it's usually black tea and then condensed milk. So we do a play on that with the tiramisu. So instead of using black espresso coffee, we use intense black tea. So we steep all of the layers through, and then we still use the ladyfingers. It still feels and eats like a tiramisu, but the flavors are very floral, like milk tea. And then we have a seasonal black sesame soft serve. We make the ice cream in-house. Yeah, so super nutty, flavorful, a little sweet. So it's definitely been a hit. Our guests have, our feedback from that dessert has been like overwhelmingly positive.
Well, I love that because sometimes you go to these restaurants, I'm not going to name them, but you go to these restaurants and there's all this authentic push in all their food. And then the dessert's like, oh, chocolate cake.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, come on. Like, I wanted to try something new. This is like an adventure. And I do feel as though people nowadays have really started going to restaurants to get to learn a little something. Mm-hmm. It's like you can YouTube how to make pretty much anything. But at the end of the day, you don't want to. You want to learn where things come from, things like that. Is that kind of where I feel like I'm learning, I'm on an adventure with you guys when it comes to the food too?
No, absolutely. I think this is just like speaking earlier, this is our experiences, working in Central Florida, growing up in Central Florida. So like integrating both those techniques and those heritage with, all of the Spanish heritage, cultural aspects of it, it's the integration of it. So this is like our interpretation of Chinese food, So I don't want to call it.
It's not just the basic.
Correct. No, right. So we want to make it fun, exciting, as well as approachable, right? We don't want to scare people away.
Right. So. And you were telling me a fun story about your grandparents who, when they were up in New York, they couldn't just like locally source things because that just wasn't a thing back in the day.
Correct.
So what did they have to do?
So twice a year, they would make 2 big trips. They either would drive to New York City or Toronto to pick up the main ingredients, like egg roll skins, rice, jasmine rice.
You just Amazon some stuff.
Definitely different back then.
Cisco
or US Foods delivering to Jamestown, New York. So, but those experiences, like what my dad used to say, is like, that's what made them them, His best memories were going into those cities, eating at those beautiful restaurants, and then like experiencing the big cities and then bringing it back into a small town. So that
fusion has always been there, guys. Really, it has been. Definitely. So it's brother, sister, and so you said also your significant other is also.
I mean, we somehow roped them all in to working with us. All hands on. Thank you guys so much.
And I mean, could you imagine doing it without family? I mean, at the end of the day, this kind of feels like it is the family that creates the food. It's not the family isn't the second thought. It's the
first thought.
It's the first.
Yeah, we wouldn't have gotten this far without their help, without their support, or bearing all the level of anxiety and stress on that. But they've been amazing. Yeah, so super supportive and like literally they're grinding with us every day. So.
And you guys also have other employees and things like that too. So
we have a full kitchen staff, front of the house, which are all very important and crucial to the success of the restaurant so far. They've been so supportive. They've been working so hard, day in, day out. So we couldn't ask for anything better.
This food is phenomenal. Where can people find you online? Because their Instagram looks so good. Like the food I was looking at online, it looks exactly like the food I see in person. Like it's not that fake waxy stuff that, you sometimes hear about. Like that food's not real on Instagram. This is real. I'm seeing it.
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Yao's ORL is our Instagram. Yao's just on Facebook. We do our website as well is yaosorl.com.
I always like to ask, like, where do you get the inspiration for the name? But I already know it. It's your last name.
It's a pretty easy. Yeah, it really is.
Family forward thinking.
For sure.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys talking to us, and let us know whenever you guys get any new updates, when the big grand opening, you guys are move on from soft opening. We'll of course be putting it on clickorlando.com. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. I'm going to eat more.
Please. Please. I'll eat another one too.
Seriously, that chicken.
Right.
Thank you for listening to Florida Foodie. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify or wherever you stream podcasts. We'd also like to thank our guests, George and Edward Yao. You can find their business online at yaosorl.com. That's Yaos spelled YAOSORL.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Instagram. Follow Lisa Bell online. Search Lisa Bell News on Facebook and Instagram. Find Candace Campos on social media. On Facebook, search Candace Campos News 6. And on Instagram, search Candace Campos, WKMG. I'm the show's producer, Thomas Mates. Big thank you to our entire production team. You can find videos of all of our podcasts on clickorlando.com and on YouTube. Just search for Florida Foodie.